to the Israeli election exactly 1 week away. Next up right here, a Shas party founder, Aryeh Deri. A bit of background on who he is. Derry migrated from Morocco to Israel at the age of 9. He served as Minister of the Interior since 2016 and Minister of Religious Services since last year. His political life has included plenty of controversy. Derry was sentenced to 3 years in jail for corruption charges in 2000 and is facing new charges now.
Today, according to our I-24 News Israel Hayom poll, his party is projected to get 6 seats in parliament, the lowest in 27 years. We sat down with Derry earlier on his Shas party, on Benjamin Netanyahu, and more. Minister Derry, thank you for joining us on I-24 News. According to our I-24 News Israel Hayom poll, your party, Shas, is now projected to win only 6 seats. That would be its lowest in 27 years. Why isn't Shas doing better at the polls?
Well, first of all, the polls never succeed in actually hitting exactly what our target is. They don't seem to do the polls well enough. You had the municipal elections and the real election results. We usually translate into 9 or 10 actually seats, and that's what happened a few months ago. We realized that with the municipal elections, and I truly believe that we will, please God, reach a much higher result than we are at the moment. We will not go down. We will succeed in getting more.
Minister Derry, you are now facing potential legal issues going forward. Do you think that could be impacting how your party is doing, how your public feels about it?
No, I don't think so, because I said from the very first day that there are various people like the attorney generals and and also the police said that most of those have been removed, and now it's in the hands of the state attorney, and I truly feel that I trust him, and I believe, and I don't see that the public either has accepted it any, badly.
Your party was founded over 30 years ago to address real issues of discrimination in Israel against Jews from Middle Eastern countries, what's called Sephardic or Mizrahi Jews. Maybe today there's less need for a party like Shas, especially since we in an era when many Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews intermarry.
Yes, our party was established 30 years ago by Rabbi Ovadia Yosef. One of its main aims was discrimination between Sephardis and Ashkenazis, but to my chagrin, there's still that discrimination that exists. Yes, there's been a tremendous improvement because Shas does exist, and that's why. But that has impacted all society in Israel, and they understood that Shas in 1999 reached 17 mandates, seats. And therefore they understood that in all the sectors they need more Sephardis. But I'll just give you an example. Now, if Bank of Israel came out with a new banknotes, 200 shekels, 50 shekels, 20, then they put poets, of our nation. They couldn't find one Sephardic poet. If that is a situation, and the same with the courts as well, they can't find anyone. There isn't one decent judge from the Sephardic people, but it's in all the sectors. Unfortunately, they are still being discriminated against. And in our Haredi society, it is more salient. So still in our society, they accept the Sephardi ones according to a ratio rather than according to their capabilities. So therefore, we need to separate these institutions so that the Saudis would have their home, their institutions. Unfortunately, we haven't reached that normative situation yet in Israel.
Minister Derry, there are accusations against the Likud party, the ruling Likud party, even recently during this election campaign, that they are racist, that Netanyahu is racist towards Middle Eastern Jews and don't include enough in their party. What's your take?
Well, those are election campaigns. Everyone casts aspersions. Menachem Begin, may he rest in peace, was the first in the big parties that actually gave the stage to the Sephardis and those from the Eastern Extract. He knew how to speak in their language and respect their heritage. And that is what the Likud does. It whether they sufficiently represent them and give representation for them, no, it isn't. Otherwise, we wouldn't need Shas. But the connection between Shas and the Likud create a harmony that solves this issue. Truly, yes, in their first 10, you've got Miri Regev. But that is why Shas exists. But in Likud, there isn't that ambience because they respect the heritage and tradition. There isn't an atmosphere against them. They have many mayors that are Sephardis. It's not an elitist parties, and therefore we do connect more with the Likud than with other parties. It's not, for example, the Kahol Lavan party, the blue and white party, that went into a villa in Savion and then got up in the morning with a party.
Minister Derry, there are leaders in the Jewish diaspora abroad, especially in the American Jewish community, that say policies that you are pursuing on conversion, on the Western Wall, are increasing the gap between Israel and the Jewish diaspora to the detriment of both. How do you answer that?
Well, first and foremost, I'd just like to say one sentence. A Jew, whoever and wherever he is a Jew. There's no differences between any Jews. I love them all. And it doesn't matter whether he's a Reform Jew or a conservative Jew or an Orthodox Jew. What does disturb me is their path. We are not built in Israel for conservatives, Reform and Orthodox. We have one Judaism here in Israel. We're not in the diaspora. The Western Wall for dozens of years served everyone. There is one Western Wall. There aren't three. That is the Western Wall, and anyone who wants to go in can always go in. It never was detrimentally affect them. Suddenly, there are people who find it difficult to put on their phylacteries and read out of the Torah. Why are they inciting things? Why are they do that when 99% of Jews want it as is? But I'm saying most specifically to the Jews in the United States, don't bring your controversies here into Israel. We're too small a state. It's taken us so hard for 70 years to reach a status quo so that the Ashkenazis, the religious, the secular, and all of them can live together. Don't destroy it with your controversy. We embrace you all with love. So please, there's a mentality in Israel. We have customs in Israel. Don't change them.
Minister Derry, you say that you accept all kinds of Jews, but the reality is that most American Jews, for example, are non-Orthodox, that many Jews that go by non-Orthodox conversions are not accepted, not seen as Jews here in Israel. Same issues go for marriage and praying at the Western Wall. Can you understand why Jews around the world say we might want to get close to Israel, but Israeli policies don't allow us?
Please separate between a Jew who I accept as a Jew and Judaism that I'm not willing to exchange. It's not an invention, Judaism, of one person that you can change. Judaism, we received it thousands of years ago, and the Jews preserved themselves throughout all the exiles because of their conservative, deeply rooted Judaism. But with all due respect, I'm not willing to accept a wedding with a rabbi and a priest together and say that that is a wedding. I'm not coercing any Jew what to eat in his own home and how to behave or conduct himself. But in the state of Israel, I don't want to have a different Judaism than our traditional Judaism that has existed for over 2,000 years.
Minister Derry, I want to get back to the election. Your party has unequivocally supported Benjamin Netanyahu. But would Shas sit in a unity government in which Benny Gantz and Yair Lapid are senior cabinet ministers?
We will recommend to the president only Netanyahu, but we think he's a good prime minister and he ought to continue being a prime minister. And their manifest is not against Judaism or against our path, but to my chagrin, Banz, by the way, is a very good guy, and I do not accept the claims against him that he's insane or anything else, these aspersions. He has contributed immensely and he's a worthy person. If they want to join the government, we will then deliberate it. We want to actually found a government with the Likud. That is what we believe in.
Minister Derry, before we let you go, in sitting in a Netanyahu government, would you support a law to protect the prime minister from prosecution, the so-called French law?
I can only say that I discussed this with the Prime Minister, and he said to me that I can quote him. He does not want the French law, and he's not interested in it. It's all hypothetical. It is part and parcel of the election campaign in order to attack him. It's not actually on the agenda. It doesn't exist. And that's it. Full stop.